Yo, what's up, guys? Hope you all had a good Christmas and a happy new year and a good start to 2025. Today, I wanted to do like a little channel anniversary recap of my 1 year on YouTube. So, as a lot of you know, or may not know, but if you've been here a while, a lot of you know that I had really no intention of making more than that one YouTube video that I posted, like 11 months ago at this point. Around that time in 2023, most of that year, I was watching a lot of pickups videos and lifestyle videos and shopping vlogs, stuff like that. So I feel like it's pretty normal for anyone who's really addicted to one type of content on YouTube to naturally want to make their own type of content. I myself have seen a lot of people start channels in the last 6 to 12 months doing pickups videos and stuff similar to what I do as well. So I think a lot of people who are in this space and in this hobby kind of all hopped on the train at the same time. But for me, I never really intended to be a YouTuber, and I really don't consider myself a YouTuber still, even though I've made more videos after the first one. But yeah, I really just wanted to make that first video to share the things that I had been buying and really share that Dries jacket that I bought, because with anything that you're passionate about, you like to have similar types of friends or people who are interested in the same things as you to talk about it. And I just really had not even a single one.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin
in my life. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just make a YouTube video, post it online, and maybe people will find it. Actually, I really didn't think anyone was gonna find that first video. I thought maybe 5, 6, 10, 50 people would find it, but 20,000 people found that video and watched it, so pretty crazy about that. But yeah, really appreciate everyone who has subscribed and liked my videos. Really appreciate everyone who's found my Instagram and followed me on Instagram. I've met so many cool people on YouTube and on Instagram, some of which I've already met, and I'm now I just consider them friends, which is crazy. And honestly, with 2025, there's just more of that to come. I'm not going to spoil anything as of yet, but there's going to be some really, really exciting content coming up on this channel with some really cool people that I have met over the past few months. Also, I don't know if you guys are interested in a Q&A, but I would be down to do a Q&A. I did ask for Q&A questions a few months ago, which I did get a lot of, but I just completely forgot to do it, and I have no idea where those questions went. So if you guys would want me to do a Q&A for 2K or just in general, and you're gonna want to ask me anything, you can ask me something about fashion or not about fashion, I don't really care. Leave them in the comment section, and then also I'll probably make a post on my Instagram. Follow my Instagram if you aren't already, but I'll probably do a couple of story posts between now and whenever my next video is going to be, and I'll do a Q&A section. If I get enough video or enough questions, I might just do a whole dedicated Q&A video. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a Q&A, leave your questions for me in the comment section of this video. So as you can tell, obviously from the title of the video, I have some new items to show you guys. And these are all items that I got for Christmas. So doing this in chronological order of when I bought these. First, we have this crewneck sweater from Lemaire. All of these items are from Lemaire, by the way. And all of these items are medium. Both the tops are medium, just in case I forget to mention that. So this sweater I actually saw for the first time in Italy. I don't know if I put it in the vlog or not when I made that Italian shopping vlog, but I found this at, I think the store was called Antonoli, which is a crazy store. Fun fact, I did not know Antonoli owns Andamillimista, which makes sense on why that store was so insane. Seriously guys, if you are ever in Milan, please visit the Antonoli store. It was probably, aside from Atelier Solaire in Antwerp and Leclerc in Paris, the Herald location, that was probably my favorite store that we went to, which was a complete surprise because we had no idea what Antonoli was. They had everything there. They had obviously a huge selection of Andy, but yeah, I saw this there and I wanted it really bad, and it was in a medium. Oh, I'm lying. This is not a medium. This is a small, because I tried the medium on at Antonoli, and I think what put me off was the fit. It was just too kind of oversized or boxy in certain areas. I really liked the color of this. I really liked the melange effect. Melange. I have no idea how you're supposed to say it, but it reminded me of the Terra Wool knit from Vujade, which, bro, no one is ever selling that, and I wanted that for a really long time, but it's fine. We got something else. And actually, what I like about this versus the Terra Wool sweater is that it has a more classic silhouette. The Vujade one is extremely cropped and it has a very aggressive brushed wool look to it, whereas this one is, you know, definitely more muted and kind of can be dressed up and obviously dressed down. More versatile in my opinion than the Vujade one, but that is why I was hunting a gray sweater for so long that reminded me of the Vujade knit but was more towards my style. So yeah, this is 100% virgin wool, so super soft, really warm, but it's the perfect weight because if you guys remember my last pickups video, I have a really hard time finding knitwear that works well for me. Surprisingly though, this knit works really well. I've worn it a ton since I got it, and it has become like a wardrobe essential for me, so it was a great investment. Next up, we have the twist jeans from Lemaire. Like I said, all these items are from Lemaire, and this item was a very unexpected purchase. So what I mean was that I was looking for a black pair of pants. It didn't necessarily have to be denim, but I'm someone who really gravitates towards denim. I just prefer the look of denim. I prefer how you can dress it up and dress it down, whereas wool pants, typically for me, I can't really find a good wool pant. It just doesn't fit my lifestyle as much as denim does. I needed something that was pure pitch black. Obviously, you guys know that I bought the PL jeans from Vujade, but that is more of like an anthracite slate gray color. I really wanted something that was like a pure black. So one day I was just scrolling Essence, you know, as one degenerate does in his free time. And I was looking for a pair of black pants. I had a couple different options from a couple different websites, but what it came down to was this pair and a pair of black denim from, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, but it's from Soshiotsky, I believe. It's a Japanese designer from Bunta College, I believe that's where he went. And it's actually a pretty sick brand. So if you guys are interested in Japanese, I wouldn't even call it a streetwear brand, but just in Japanese styled clothing, definitely check out Soshiotsky. They're on Essence, but don't look at Essence as like their body of work. They have way more to offer on their website. That's the one downside about this brand though, is that their stockists for people who live in the West, it's pretty hard to find. But from certain people that review, the very few people that I found that review Soshiotsky online say that if you go to Japan, it's really easy to find them in a lot of different clothing stores. So I tried a pair of pants from them, and I tried this pair of denim. Funny enough, when I got them in hand, because of the volume and the different types of shape of these Lemaire pants, I was really put off by them when I got them. I actually kind of hated them, but I also kind of liked them. Like, you know, when something is like an eyesore, but it makes you look at it like more and more and more? Bars. That's what these pants were for me. It was my first introduction to volume, like true volume in a silhouette, which obviously me wearing Vujade and acne jeans, you don't really get that. Yeah, you can get like baggy silhouettes, wide leg, flared, etc. But the sheer volume that these have was insane to me. And I didn't like what I was looking at first, but it was interesting. It was interesting. For whatever reason, something possessed me to retry these on. And I'm so glad I did, because these jeans has kickstarted not only a new direction of my style, but a complete obsession with Lemaire. Like, obviously, Lemaire is nothing new. I have known about Lemaire. I've even tried items from Lemaire in the past, but they were all cotton poplin shirts. About a year and a half ago, I tried some cotton poplin shirts from them. Wasn't too like impressed for the price point or whatever, but it was a cotton shirt. You know, it is what it is. So I don't know what it was about the second time trying these on, but my eyes just kind of got like used to it. You know the great analogy is for these pants. It's like listening to Yeet for the first time.
What?
Bro, I hated Yeet when I heard him for the first time. But like the more and more you listen to it, you're like, yeah, damn, like it sounds different, but because it's so different, you're like, your brain's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why do you, what are these bells? What are these ad-libs, like, coming from? Like, what is he saying? What is a twizzard? What is a honey bun? Like, this shit, like, we're serving chickens? Like, what the fuck, what did you say? But, yeah, the more and more I listen to Yeet, we got so off topic. We're talking about Yeet in a fucking pickups video. Yeah, it's like, the more and more I looked at myself in the mirror with the volume on the bottom, the more it actually made the other pants that I owned look like 2D, like it was actually missing something. The more and more I tried it on, the more and more I was like, wow, I cannot live without these. And yeah, this pretty much just started my whole addiction with Lemaire. Another thing that I thought I was gonna hate about these pants was the belt, the detachable, I don't know what kind of belt this is called, but I feel like every kid kind of had these growing up when you'd buy, you know, pants from like Kohl's or Target. And I used to hate these belts growing up. And when I got these in hand, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna use this. But interesting enough, this is probably the thing that I love the most about these pants. It's like better than using a traditional belt. Like, it's the way it folds the fabric at the waist, because I have a really small waist and I have long legs, so I'm always belting my jeans pretty high up on my body, which can kind of be uncomfortable, especially all day. You know, when you're sitting in a car or in a chair, that's really when it hurts the most. But this belt, it just feels like I'm wearing like a pair of pants without a belt, which is really strange. I don't know how they achieve that. The other thing that I like is that the tail that you get on this belt, it is so sick. It reminds me of, like, you know, a martial arts styled belt. I don't know if that's what they were going for, because I know they're influenced by, you know, Asian culture and all that, but it reminds me of like a karate belt or something of the sorts. So it, again, when I don't want to look super duper put together, it gives it like a casual type of vibe. And yeah, it's just interesting. It's just like an interesting little detail with outfits that I like to put together. The other thing is that there is brown contrast stitching throughout the whole pant, and this is something that Lemaire does throughout their collection, so that if you were to buy a set, a denim set, the stitching will match, and then they make pieces entirely out of the same color of the stitching, so that, you know, if I wanted to buy like a twist shirt or, you know, a jacket in that brown color, it's going to have really nice continuity between the top and the bottom half with that color coming back through. So I feel like this is the start of, I'm not gonna say like a whole new chapter of my, you know, journey into fashion with my personal style, but it definitely is giving me a brand new, like a lot of brand new options that I never thought about. It, not only am I into Lemaire now, but being more into Lemaire, you get more into brands like, you know, Yan Yan Van Esse. You get into more brands like Issei and Comme, just because they all kind of have that Japanese influence in all of their stuff. It has more of an elevated, put together look. And, you know, if you're wearing something like this on bottom, I feel like you need to match the top. Obviously, I'm already into Japanese brands like Orly, so I felt like finding these pants came at a really good time in my fashion journey. I don't know, I sound so goofy saying that, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, and last up for the pickup section of this video, we have this, I don't really know what the name is called, but my friend and Tobey and I just been calling this the 3D pocket jacket from Lemaire. I actually saw this in person for the first time over Christmas break. So Tobey, the guy I just mentioned, I actually knew him from Instagram. Pretty sure he watched my YouTube channel, and then we just became friends over Instagram, which, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, I am like so appreciative that I have a channel that people actually watch and follow my Instagram and, you know, get to know each other like over the internet, because, again, like I don't have any friends who are into fashion, any like real life friends who are into fashion. So being able to connect with people online and then like this, like spontaneously be able to meet them in person and hang out with them, it's like such a great time. And we spent a couple days together, I think the weekend after Christmas. And honestly, if it wasn't for Tobey, I wouldn't have known of a lot of stores in LA, because I don't really like go shopping in person very often. I'm someone who like looks for most of my clothes online. And again, like I'm not from LA, I'm from Orange County, so I have like a I'm not like a huge LA person. Like I don't really like going to downtown LA that often. So it was cool kind of being like a tourist of my own city with Tobey, and we just compiled like this huge, stockist list of brands that we liked. And one of them was a place called Mohawk General. Shout out Mohawk General. They have a women's and a men's store, and they're both fire. So I had never been to Mohawk General before. I don't know if Tobey had either. I just know he wanted to go there. So we went inside, and guys, it was love at first sight, because as soon as we walk into the door, we're met with like this Dries jacket, and when we turn to our right, it's just Orly and Lemaire, and it's like the whole fucking rack, bro. It is insane. I actually was gonna vlog it, but I got lazy. I know, hands up. But Tobey makes content. Finally, he has a channel, and he has like a section of the stores that we hit. So link in the description if you guys want to watch that video. Maybe I'll put it up on screen somewhere as well. But yeah, he has like a mini vlog of all the stores that we hit during our 2 days hanging out together. So yeah, back to the pickup at hand. I'm someone who has a bad association with workwear, because I usually, at least the workwear that I always see comes off as like Carhartt clones, which I'm not a huge fan of Carhartt, and like not to say that I don't think it looks good, but I just think it's really overplayed, and it's just really not my style personally. No shade to anyone who wears Carhartt, but it just makes me feel a little bit of a poser as well to wear things like Carhartt, because I do not work on electrical lines. I do not work in harsh conditions, so it just feels weird wearing something that is like so obviously workwear. But with Lemaire, they really offer workwear in a way that I personally can incorporate into my own style. With their workwear is less American workwear, and it's more like that French everyday type of workwear, also mixed with Japanese influences. I have no idea the story of why Christophe Lemaire is so influenced by Japanese silhouettes, but it's definitely apparent in a lot of their design aesthetics that he's very influenced by Asian culture. Onto some of the features about this jacket. 3D pockets, really cool. Love these high gloss buttons. I forgot what they used for this, but it's maybe I'll throw it on screen if I remember, but it's an organic button. It's not like made from plastic, and I'm pretty sure it's not mother of pearl either. Has like this front phone style pocket on top of the 3D pocket. Another huge thing that I love about this jacket is the collar. So obviously, being a workwear jacket, you can wear it like a normal stand collar, but when you play around, and Lemaire does this with a lot of things that they have, like blazers, jackets, shirts, etc. They have this option to fold the top part of this collar. I don't know what to call this. I'm just going to call it lapels for a lack of better term, because I don't know what this is called, but it gives it like this lapel effect, like a blazer lapel effect, that you can kind of fold down and then really play with the styling underneath with like a cotton poplin shirt, which is another thing that I've been really into recently, is styling my cotton poplin collars in very different or unique ways. I love the diversity with collars. Obviously, you guys have seen my wardrobe with the Enzo, with the Dries jacket. I love being able to style jackets in different ways. I will typically not buy a jacket that can only be worn one way. Another example of the workwear inspiration coming through are the side gussets. Side gussets are often found in workwear pieces, especially jackets, in this kind of shoulder blade area where someone is carrying something, or there's like a lot of force, and basically what they do is just it reinforces the seams at which are prone to tearing because of how much tension and force are applied in these areas day to day. Obviously, I will not be working or I will not be wearing this jacket to work in it, but it looks cool and it feels good to be able to move your jacket or move your arms around that freely, because a lot of jackets like this are a lot tighter around that shoulder blade area. Other cool things to note are these buttons down by the waist that you can cinch in if you want to, and the cuffs that can also be buttoned, which I often do. Both of these things create more of a volume effect on the sleeves, making it look more tubular, and around your waist if you were to cinch in the buttons on the waist. And again, like I said, with those twist jeans is the whole reason why I bought this jacket and I'm looking to buy more Lemaire tops is because once you kind of get introduced to volume and you wear something that has so much volume on the bottom, it makes everything look a little bit out of place when it doesn't match that same type of volume on top. So I really love experimenting with volume recently, and Lemaire is like a great brand to be first introduced into this type of world of silhouette.
Oh my God. All right, so obviously we are filming this on a different day. Due to some unforeseen circumstances out of my control, we could not finish the filming of the video on the day I started. As you can also probably hear and see, I am fucking sick, which is why I'm dressed like Lord Opius Maximus. But we move, okay? We move. Just know that you guys better be liking and subscribing to the channel because I am on my deathbed making this video for you today. All right? All right, so basically just to wrap up the video, what I wanted to talk about was my fashion goals for 2025. So I have 4 main goals for myself for 2025 in the realm of fashion. 2 of them are like more personal style related, and then the other 2 are more like education, learning about fashion industries type things. So the first one for personal style is to learn how to dress for all seasons that accurately and like holistically expresses myself. I feel that I read and like hear online a lot, specifically for the summer season, how people hate summer, myself included, because, you know, we can't really wear clothes in the summer. It's really hard to pull out fits that make yourself feel like yourself, that you're just kind of wearing whatever you can to get by because it's so hot. And while there's probably going to still be occasions and days where that's true, I've kind of come to the conclusion that I just haven't been trying hard enough. And I think the area that I lacked a lot to be able to really experiment with my summer wardrobe is knowledge in fabrics. I've recently been reading a book called Textilopedia, which I'm getting a little ahead of myself because this goes into another goal that I'll talk about in a second. But essentially, there's so many different fabrics out there, and there's so many different purposes of these fabrics and materials out there that I just have not experimented with. And I kind of get comfortable with what I know and what I see online. So a big goal for me, and again, not only just for summer, but for any season, I want to be able to recreate my favorite outfits, which tend to always usually be the winter outfits, and be able to emulate that across to any season. And I have a whole video planned on that with fabric research and theories and just like basically a how to dress in summer guide that I kind of want to work on. So for my second style goal for 2025, I have find alternate sources of style inspiration other than apps like Instagram and YouTube. I think it's really easy to get into a rhythm of copying what you like from others, which again, I'm not really condemning that because there really isn't any 100% sources of originality in style or in the fashion space, besides maybe Ray Kawakubo, but that's a topic for a totally different video. Why did I put the fucking tissue boxes so far away from me, bro? I have to blow my nose. I hate my life. Continuing on. So yeah, I just feel like there's so many options out there of non-traditional sources of inspiration, whether it just be like everyday life, watching movies, TV shows, reading books. And the last 2, I feel like, are things that have really impacted my personal style. Recently, over winter break, I've been watching a lot of movies and I have been reading a lot of books. And in like the styling section for one of my pickups is that whole collar thing that I was doing really came from just watching a TV show and just being like, wait, I like that. But before it was just like, you know, oh, I like that and kind of move on. But I never really thought about how to take something that I thought was interesting and, you know, emulate it in a way that would work today and for my lifestyle and for my personal style and wardrobe. So yeah, just really want to challenge myself this year to step away from copying what I see on my Instagram feed or my YouTube feed and really look back in the history of fashion through textbooks or shows and explore different eras and see how I can take things that I actually find really interesting and make it work for my wardrobe in today's world. So for my 2 goals for fashion education, My first one is reading more fashion books than clothing pickups. So I made it a challenge or a point for myself this year of 2025 to not go over 10 new clothing item pickups for the year, just because I feel like I'm at a point in my style journey where I can do that. Obviously, I'm not someone who purchases a ridiculous amount of clothing, but I feel like last year it was definitely excessive than what I needed. Of course, a reason for that is definitely because I'm so new into fashion. Like I had mentioned before, I've only been really caring about personal style for about 2 years now. So, it being my second year last year, I felt I experimented a lot with different styles and different brands and trying to figure out what worked best for me. And obviously that requires purchasing clothes. And I feel even with it being excessive, I only went between like 15 and maybe 16, 17 pieces of clothing last year. And I was actually watching a Fashion Roadman video where he was reacting to this documentary where this lady basically said like the average American consumes like between 70 and 80 pieces of clothing a year, which is like, I really could not believe that stat. So I think I'm at a point now where I feel like I can get away with 10 or under pieces of clothing. And I think this will also push me to really be more intentional with my purchases. Like, what is this garment of clothing doing for me? What purpose does it serve in my wardrobe? Do I really need this? Do I have a hole for this in my closet? Versus just, collecting things to collect them, or becoming too much of a brand baby and getting too attached to certain name brands or designers. And I've actually already started reading a few books. This year, maybe I'll do like a review video, like a book review video on the ones I find most interesting. So like I already mentioned, I started reading Textilopedia. I'm currently reading that, and just again, I'm really using that book as a source of research for my summer styling video, because I want to go in depth about where certain materials come from and why you would use a synthetic material over like an organic material for certain conditions and all that kind of good stuff. So that has been an interesting read so far. The other book that I actually have already finished is a book called The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. Yeah, not gonna hold y'all, this book is complicated and complex and confusing as fuck. I'm a university student, and this is the hardest shit that I've ever had to like digest or comprehend, because your boy's comprehension level is between a Jeff Kinney and a J.K. Rowling, okay? So, but this is a skill that I definitely want to develop over the next year. And I feel with fashion analysis and, where my interest is going with fashion, I really do need to be able to comprehend just things in general. I need to be able to discern for myself my own opinions about show notes and like other fashion content creators' critiques of shows, because I want to be able to contribute like my own opinion to these conversations rather than just regurgitate what other people say that other people look up to on the internet, because I don't know, it just seems super superficial, for like a lack of a better word. But yeah, I've read this. It's only like 35 pages. I've read it once, and I think I was understanding like every fourth line, because there's a lot of hyperbole and a lot of analogies being made that I don't get, and there's like a lot of big words that your boy just does not understand. But it's been fun, and it is a big perspective shifter. Obviously, I'm going to reread it to fully be able to understand and digest it, but there are still a lot of interesting concepts in this book that has already changed my perspective on what art is and how I apply that to fashion, because that is an art form to me, and pretty much the only art form that I'm currently interested in at the moment. And then the other book that I'm reading right now alongside of Textilopedia is The Glass of Fashion by Cecil Beaton. I don't know if Cecil Beaton is like a popular fashion person, like a person of interest in the fashion world. I'm sure by the end of this book, I will probably know the answer to that question. And by the time I have like the video for the book review, but so far I'm only a couple chapters in, but it's basically him just talking about how he got into fashion and this aunt that he had, and this period of time that he lived in or grew up in, which was the Edwardian period right after the Victoria times. And it's just really interesting. He writes in a way that's really, really holds my attention, and that's coming from someone who hasn't picked up a book since probably like 8th grade that wasn't assigned reading. So it's been really cool just again going back into fashion times and really reading about eras that I would have otherwise never have really known about. And then finally, my last goal for myself and my last educational fashion goal for the year is to research designers, but specifically research the designers that are much harder, at least for myself, to understand from a philosophical standpoint and just from like a what am I looking at standpoint. And to give you an example of who I'm talking about is like the Ray Kubakubos of the world and Walter Van Beirendonks, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Walter Van Beirendonk show, but when I watch it, the only thing that I can think of in my head is what the fuck am I looking at? And, you know, I don't like the feeling of not understanding things. That's why I'm a psychology major. It's why I've been so interested in science my whole life. I love to question things. I love to know why something the way it is or why a person acts the way they do. And I feel the best way to understand these fashion shows, because again, I love watching fashion shows, I feel the best way to learn about what these designers are putting on the runway is to read about them, read about their childhood and read about their life and see what kind of person they are outside of fashion and how they got interested in fashion. So that's going to be my first attempt at trying to understand some of these more talked about eclectic designers. And that's the other thing, is that when you're in this space, you hear all of these names get thrown all the time as like fashion gospel and like these are the pillars of the fashion world as we know it today. And it's like, it doesn't feel good to not be able to look at their work and not understand why they're important or what they've contributed or why they're so revolutionary in the space of fashion. So I want to just do my own research and really get to know some of these more challenging designers. And who knows, maybe I will love one of these designers so much that I'll even make a video on it. Now, I am not going to become a fashion research channel by any means. If you get any guys are getting scared out there, because I am a full-time student and I have a full-time job, and I am not Bliss Foster and I'm not Fashion Roadman who do this as a living. So I will not be spending hours upon hours upon hours of doing research whatsoever. But if I feel like I have anything interesting to say or a different perspective to bring, because I'm not a fashion journalist, I'm more of like a layman's common person in fashion, I will make a video if I see him or if I deem it appropriate. Okay. But I guess that is a good segue to my last kind of point for the video, is just like what kind of content to expect from me in 2025. Obviously, guys, I'm going to have the occasional pickups video that's not going anywhere. That's how I got into fashion. And I do really love sharing my personal growth with my friends, my viewers, and just for myself, like a video not documentary, but like a video log, for lack of better words, of like where my fashion journey is, where I've come, where I'm going, that kind of thing. So fashion pickup videos or clothing pickup videos will still be there, just probably way more sparingly than they have been. Again, going back to that 10 item challenge. And then some other things that I would really want to do are fashion reaction videos or live streams even. If you guys didn't know, I used to stream on Twitch. That's where the yapping skill comes from. I used to be a demon on Twitch when I was in high school and stuff. So yeah, I used to love streaming. Maybe interested in doing a stream on YouTube. The only thing with streaming on YouTube versus like a Twitch is that the conversion of viewership from your like YouTube video audience to live streaming is pretty poor. Even someone like Fashion Roadman, who has like over 100,000 subscribers and is known for doing live streams, he will only have like, depending on the time of day, obviously like a couple hundred viewers. So for someone as small as me, I just don't know if anyone's going to show up to him, but hey, who knows, maybe I'll still do it anyways. But yeah, definitely some fashion or some runway reaction videos would be probably on brand for me, just because that's what I love watching in my free time. I watch a ton of fashion shows from all kinds of brands. I watch it from like an entertainment standpoint, and I also watch it for like, you know, style inspiration standpoints. I just love the whole spectacle of it, the music and the set and the design, the stylings, all that kind of good stuff. Another one that I've already touched on before was like book reviews. Maybe I'll do a book review. I don't really know if that's something I'm actually interested in, like making a whole analysis video of and uploading it. But if anything, I'll just throw it in like another video and say, hey, these books were good. This is kind of what it's about. And I recommend you watching or reading this book if you're interested in this or trying to achieve this with fashion. Another idea that I've already kind of alluded to, and one that I am really excited to make, is solving wardrobe issues that I'm facing. So again, being able to take my favorite outfits, break it down to why do I like them, and be able to recreate them across all seasons, specifically summer. So as I come across wardrobe issues that I have, I would really like to make, you know, more of a in-depth breakdown of how I tackle these problems, and, you know, hopefully provide a solution to a few people out there that have the same issues as I do. And then eventually at some point in this year, probably towards the end of this year, I'll make like a closet rebuild video, because again, like I said, with me getting introduced to volume, like with brands like Lemaire, and then now branching out to new brands like Jan Jan Ved Esse, and, you know, obviously I've already been buying from Orly. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before I start getting into Comb and all these other Japanese artisanal, more artisanal styled brands than like your typical commercial brands. I feel it's just natural that my style is going to go in a different direction. Like I said, I'm going to be trying to enrich myself in fashion history with books and documentaries and movies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's only makes sense that is going to happen in due time. And I will definitely make a full, you know, closet tour, rebuild, remodel, whatever you want to call it, when that time comes. All right, and that is pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. So thank you for staying this long. If you've made it this far in the video, really appreciate you dealing with my sniffling ass. It's been a really great 2024. I have changed so much since that first pickups video. I have learned so much about fashion, and I'm so excited to learn so much more about fashion, and really appreciative of all the new friends that I made along the way, and cannot wait to make even more friends along the way. And I cannot wait to make all of this new content in 2025. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm gonna go die now in my bed, and see you guys later. Peace out.
No way. I'll let it go out. Sad.